Good evening, everyone. Welcome. This is Andrew Cox, and I want to welcome you to the weekly Grow Rich Network Mastermind training event. To all our members and guests, we want to welcome you. We're so happy and grateful that you made it here tonight. I have a super special training for you, so you are in for a ride. I know you're going to appreciate tonight's event. You're going to have a ton of fun. You're going to learn a lot about yourself, why you're getting the results that you're getting, and how to break free and move forward in your life and in your business. So just a couple of quick housekeeping items. Dan, our co-founder of Grow Rich Network, is unavailable this evening. He's actually been traveling, and he's I got my thing playing in the background. Bear with me. There we go. At least we know that it's working. Anyways, he is unable to attend tonight, so I'm going to be running the show, as they say, this evening. So I appreciate you. If we've yet to meet, certainly I just give you a brief background about myself. I've been marketing online for 10 plus years, sold millions of dollars online, connected with Dan a couple of years back in an event in Chicago, and through our own respective businesses, he's earned a healthy six-figure income online. I've sold millions of dollars online, and between the two of us, we've come together to help average people create a substantial income online through the Grow Rich Network. So you've probably been enjoying some of the free training video series. Maybe you're already engaged in our purpose, definite purpose training in the members area. Maybe you're learning more about the 3 business systems that you'll use to create a six-figure business. And maybe you're looking at some of the other products and services that we have available. But for tonight, I've got a ton of free value and training for you. I'm going to be sharing a PowerPoint presentation with you that is one that will definitely open up your mind. So, if you have a pen and paper, get yourself ready. Guys, I've been teaching this stuff for just about 10 years. This has completely transformed my life, and I'm going to share with you tonight what we normally reserve for our $3,000 plus coaching clients in my existing business, and I'm going to just give it to you free tonight. So my whole thing is bring value and push the free line forward. So that's what I'm doing here tonight. And certainly, I just got to get a couple of things situated. So I just got to open up the PowerPoint presentation. So pay a close attention. I want to make sure that I do this properly. Let's see here. Screen share. And I think, let me just try this out here. So if I say full screen, okay, I'm going to try this. If I'm able to do this, guys, just bear with me. Because this, when I do the PowerPoint, it always is an adventure for me. So I think it's right here. Start the screen share. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just check in one other spot on my phone and see if this all makes sense. Okay, so as you can see here, we're going to be going through, I don't know how many slides. There's quite a few slides, lots of content, and you're going to be learning a ton of stuff tonight, guys, when it comes to paradigms, law of attraction, just how it all works and how you can leverage this material to essentially grow rich. That's the whole concept. So bear with me here. I'm just going to get to my phone just to double check to make sure that it is going to go live on the phone. And then I'll know we are good to go, because I did one of these events once where I showed the presentation and nobody could see it. So let me just open this up to this screen. So I'm going to say from current slide, and then I'm just going to play this back, and I'm going to just make sure that this section is actually coming up here. And so on my screen, or on your screen rather, let me see. Oh, I can hear myself talking on my phone. So right now on my screen, you should see a picture of my millionaire mentor and trainer, Bob Proctor, as well as a copy of the book, Think and Grow Rich. So I'm just making sure that that's going to pop up on the screen. And if it does, then I know I'm good to go. So bear with me here. I think it's coming. And this is a good time to grab that pen and paper, or grab that water, or whatever you want to do. Grab a beverage, whatever you like to do, guys. I think we're good. Let me see. I think it's going to pop up. I think it's, I don't know if it's stuck or let's see. Okay, so it's coming up, I think. It's coming. It may be just stuck there. So I'm going to just try this. You should be able to see, let's see. I think what I might have to do, let me just try this again, guys. Let's go back to screen share. So I'm going to say stop screen share. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to already have this up. I'm going to say from this slide. Okay, bear with me, technical glitch, not a big deal. Cancel from this screen. Okay, so let's try this again. So let's see. From current slide, actually, I think there it is, broadcast slideshow. Broadcast. Nope, from the beginning. Okay, bear with me. And I think there's another one, another way to do this here. Alt. Tab, and then we'll get right into it. It's just when you show a PowerPoint presentation, for whatever reason. Oh, I'm getting a message here, so maybe it's somebody's emailing me, letting me know. Let's see. Okay. And one more try here. PowerPoint. Somebody's messaging me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Screen share. Here we go. That's what I want. Okay, so that should work here. So let me just try that, and I think I just got a message from somebody. So I'm going to check that. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, you were good. Thanks, Tracy. Much appreciated. Okay, so I'm going to just try that one more time. And I'm going to just play on this and just make sure that I have the full slideshow up. And it is coming, I think. So bear with me. I don't know, Tracy, if you can see it now, if you're welcome to text me again. I know there's a delay on that. And I'm out of batteries on my phone, just FYI, so I will be online here. But I think we are good, so just bear with me. There's a bit of a delay from the computer to the actual presentation, so let's see. I'm staring down at my phone. Let's see if I look up, if it looks up. It should be on there. Problem with this is that sometimes it doesn't come, so let's see if I'm talking. Here we go. That's what I want. Okay, so I think I've got it on my phone now. And yep, okay, guys, I'm good to go. So I appreciate your patience while we got that sorted out. And we are good. So, okay, guys, tonight, just so you know that, again, at 10 o'clock, we're going to be doing a Think and Grow Rich Mastermind for our members. So I want to give you a little bit of background on this and then get into the content for you. So, again, this is the guy that completely changed my life 10 years ago. I was looking for a different way of doing things. I was looking for a better way of doing things, and I got introduced to Think and Grow Rich. Shortly thereafter, I started doing Toastmasters, which is a public speaking organization, a worldwide organization. And on the back of one of the magazines, the Toastmasters magazine was an ad for an opportunity to learn how to speak and grow rich, essentially, by teaching Bob's material, which is how I connected with Bob Proctor. And essentially what this is stating is that in 1961, the ideas in the book changed the course of Bob Proctor's life. I can absolutely say the same for myself. It's been 10 plus years since I've been studying this information, and these same ideas can help you reach whatever goal you choose. Bob is currently running a mastermind, selling it for thousands of dollars for a group seating, and I think at a minimum it's $500 to attend. And for you, you can attend our Grow Rich, Think and Grow Rich Mastermind training by being a member by clicking the button below if you're not already, and we'll be doing that in just a few minutes at just 10 o'clock tonight. So I've got a ton of material to cover, so I'm going to be going a little fast, but at the same time, you can come back and watch this event at any time to pick up, basically where we've left off. So the whole concept with this, guys, is that when we look at the name of the game of business and life is results, okay? So the big R is essentially standing for results. And when you look at the results that you're getting in your life, I think ultimately what you're going to do is you're going to, thanks, Tracy. Tracy said we're good again. You want to look at a couple of different areas, guys. You want to look at your health. You want to look at basically your happiness. You want to look at the wealth that you have in your life. And Bob's story goes something like this. Essentially, when he looked at all of these areas, he really wasn't that happy. He wasn't that healthy, and he wasn't that wealthy. And at that time, he was making $4,000 a year, but he owed $6,000. So I don't know if you've ever felt like that. I know I did personally. I was in at least $24,000 worth of credit card debt, and it didn't matter how much money I made every year. It just kept getting worse and worse. So if you've ever been in the dumps or been on the wrong side of the tracks when it comes to happiness, health, or wealth, we can certainly say that we've been there too, okay? And if we've been there, we also had to figure out the way to get out. And that's where I really tuned into what Bob's message was about. And if you kind of see that message on the screen, basically what you're going to see is that ultimately, let's hopefully that this is moving at the same time. I'm just going to see this here. So let's see if it's moving here. I know Tracy just said Bob's book is on the screen. Tracy, just maybe let me know if it moves over to the big R on my screen. I've already moved past that. So maybe if you can let me know, that'd be awesome, man. I might lose you on my phone, but appreciate your feedback. Essentially what happened is that he was looking for some new results. When he started to get them, he was basically puzzled as to why he was getting them. And then he spent basically a lot of time figuring this all out. So it says if you're going to earn a lot of money, you have to be really smart. If you're going to do well in business, you require a formal education. Well, that's what most people are conditioned to believe. Bob Proctor didn't have either. You know, myself, guys, I was pretty smart in school, but I didn't have a formal education because I took a year off school rather, to go to work. And once I did that, I just kept working and working and never, quote unquote, went back to school. So I've lost my phone. So hopefully, I hope that you guys are following along. Essentially, he wanted to know why he was winning, and he wanted to know why things changed. And essentially, that's what he found was, you know, in this book, essentially, he basically turned it around, never stopped studying. And I've been in a similar situation, although not since 1961, essentially since 2005, I started sharing and studying this material and have been doing the same all over the globe, helped thousands of people in a virtual online environment. And really, when you look at it, guys, your results are nothing more than an expression of your level of awareness. So when it comes to your level of awareness, what you're going to realize is that the more you increase your awareness about stuff, your results are going to increase, right? So your awareness is being blocked by the old paradigms that you have, your old conditioning. So what we want to do is if you want to improve your results, you've got to improve your paradigm. You've got to change your paradigm ultimately if you want to get better results. So like I told a story last month, or maybe at the last event, like this month has been, like I've been blessed this month with a great month in my commercial career. I had one particular day that I brought in over $27,000 in commission. And that in itself was a complete alteration of my paradigm, because I can remember making that in a year. And then to learn, you know, new skills, develop my abilities, and to learn how to provide new service on a global level allowed me to increase my income that I used to essentially make when I first came into the, you know, the business world. You know, I was making roughly around $30,000 a year when I first started. When I left the quote unquote traditional business world, I was only making around 65. So when I look at that, you know, to make 27,000 in one day, you know, essentially I just increased my awareness. So when you let this little yellow dot, for example, represent your level of awareness, what you're going to realize is that it could be currently a little bit smaller than what is required for you to produce a new result. Bob used to say, listen, you don't make $65,000 a year because you want to make 65. He said, you make 65 a year because you're not aware of how to make 65,000 a month. Well, now I am aware of how to make 65,000 a month. And Dan and I have a huge vision and a huge goal for ourselves currently for the Grow Rich Network. We're looking at a $30 million goal. And to produce that, obviously, is going to stretch and cause us to grow. And we're going to be able to pay out at least $15 million or more to the field, to our affiliates and partners. And it's just exciting because every time we increase our awareness, we increase our results, and we help impact other people's lives. So, you know, there's essentially what Bob said. He, you know, just adjusted from my own situation. A person doesn't earn 50 grand a year because they want to. they earn 50,000 a year because they don't know how to make 50,000 a month. So if you want to learn how to make that type of money, you have to increase your awareness. So as you keep increasing your awareness, one of the questions is obviously, how do you go about doing this? And you do it, guys, by essentially changing your paradigm, right? Because your paradigm is what's holding you back. So when it comes to, masterminding, Grow Rich Network, weekly events, going through our training programs, essentially it's effective education, right? With the coaching side of things over a reasonable period of time is going to alter an old paradigm and then expand a person's level of awareness. So essentially, all of the Bob Proctor's programs are designed, and that's what I've been certified to do and teach. And then we've just expanded on this information and kind of brought it into the internet age, and then developed our own products and services based around these proven principles and concepts that I've been essentially applying to my own business for the last 10 years through the guidance of my millionaire mentor, Bob Proctor. So when you kind of combine it all together, it really kind of hits home when you realize that your awareness can just keep expanding and expanding, and you are no longer looking back at that little dot. You now have a much larger awareness. And certainly I can say that, looking back, hindsight is 2020, looking at my business, looking at my growth and my development in all areas of my life. Certainly I'm still developing myself on a daily basis. And that's one of the things that we really look at, because we all have the same amount of time. And it's just, what are you doing with your time? So this concept here, it says the miracle of the mind. The mind is the greatest power in all creation. So when you looked at this and you look at what we're doing at 10 o'clock tonight, guys, Bob Proctor just simply followed Napoleon Hill's teachings, okay? And he often says he has license to brag about all of the information because none of it is his. He just simply applied this information from all of these wealthy and successful people. And really, that's what we're doing, right? Napoleon Hill had a huge vision, guys. Very powerful friends. 500 of the most successful people in the world, essentially, were all of his, mentors, trainers, mastermind partners, people that he got to communicate with. And having a vision is extremely important, guys. I remember, at one point my vision was just to get out of the retail world and to get into an office. And I did that very quickly. And then Bob said, you got to stop pointing at an office and start pointing at a globe and building a business that can, generate you income from all corners of the globe, whether or not you're physically present. And these were all just ideas swimming around in my head 10 years ago. And I just started to implement them. And that's the key. You just start before you're even ready. And as you keep moving, you keep figuring it out. Well, if you look at some of Napoleon Hill's mastermind partners, Edison, Ford, Firestone, Hoover, who are your mastermind partners? And do you even have any? Do you even know what a mastermind is? And again, tonight at 10 o'clock for our paid members, below this video, you'll see a link. You can join us and you can participate in the mastermind, and you can have literally mastermind partners from all over the globe. And something magical happens when you connect our minds together for a common goal to go out and grow rich, for example. You're going to see that through the progression of the mastermind, some very interesting ideas are going to pop into your head, and they probably aren't going to come from you directly. They'll come from the mastermind and the connection of all of these other people. So if you look at Thomas Edison, he says, if we all did the things that we are really capable of doing, we would literally astonish ourselves. So I know that you're capable of doing a lot more. Earl Nightingale, Lloyd Conant from the Conant, basically, trying to remember, that's horrible. The Nightingale Conant Company. Essentially, you are looking at two of the grandfathers of the personal development world, and essentially those were Bob's mentors and trainers. And again, I was blessed to connect with Bob back in 2005 to become one of his certified life success consultants. So, coming from a lineage that's connected to all of this content, I feel quite blessed. I've had my own ups and downs. You may have heard of the hit movie The Secret. Guys, this took my business for a ride into the millions of dollars, essentially from this one connection with Bob Proctor in this movie The Secret, because our coaching was just flying out the door for people that wanted to learn the law of attraction. So again, if you wanted to learn and apply this type of information, essentially this is all coming from, you know, a lot of Earl Nightingale's training, The Strangest Secret, you know, well before our time, before we got involved or I got involved with this material. Bob was involved at that time. But guys, the information you're getting is phenomenal. You know, if you just really tune in tonight, tune into this and tune into our event at 10 o'clock, you're going to realize that you are in the right place at the right time if you take action. Even event, look at this back then, right? How to achieve greater success, how to enjoy greater happiness and peace of mind. Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. Pretty cool stuff. So when you look at this, guys, you have infinite potential, right? I do, you do, we all do. We all have infinite potential. Andrew Carnegie, essentially, you know, the guy that got Napoleon Hill to put this information together or give him the opportunity, stated that any idea that is held in the mind, that is emphasized, that is either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. So when you look at that, guys, what are you fearing or revering, right? So if you're fearing poverty, then it's going to present itself as quickly as possible. If you're focused on riches and growing rich, then you're going to attract abundance to yourself. Bob often says, and the basis of a lot of his trainings is the fact that we are spiritual beings living in a physical body, but we've been gifted with this intellect. And the intellect is what allows us essentially, you know, to think about things, right? And we have these emotions, which are essentially the vibration that our body is in, and we are intellectually aware of that. So when somebody says, you know, how are you feeling today? You'll say, you know, I'm feeling good or I'm not feeling so good. Well, really, you're just at different rates of vibration. I know for myself, if I'm not feeling so hot, what I usually do is I go for a walk in nature, go down by the lake, just spend some time out doing some enjoyable things, and I can feel my energy, I can feel my vibration increasing, and it usually puts me in a much better mood. So if you are, you know, kind of feeling down in the dumps at some particular time of the day, just go for a walk, go down by the lake, you know, spend some time in nature, and that often will increase your vibration. So if you look at, again, this spiritual, this intellectual, and this physical side of things, again, you and I have been gifted with this intellect where we can come up with these ideas. We can pluck thoughts and ideas literally out of the ether, which would be like the spiritual realm, right? You can just pick these ideas. Sometimes they flow to you without you even thinking about it. And other times, you know, you put your focused attention on a specific concept or idea. And then once you focus on it and bring it into your awareness, and then you want to go create that idea into its physical reality, you know, it ends up becoming a result in your life. So for example, you know, maybe you want to have your first $12,000 day. Maybe you want to have your first $10,000 month. Maybe you want to have your first, you know, $1,000 month, or your first $1 sale. You know, irregardless of what result that you're looking for, you really can think about it, get focused in on the idea, and then you can take action to get the result that you're looking for. So when we look at, for example, our Grow Rich Secrets 4-part video training series, we presented to you the laws of the universe, right? We talked about 7 particular laws. And here, Dr. Werner von Braun states that the laws of the universe are so precise that we have no difficulty building a spaceship, sending people to the moon, and we can time the landing with the precision of a fraction of a second. So if you think about that, when you start working with the laws and you apply them to your business, you should too be able to basically, without much difficulty, be able to get the result that you're looking for by law and not by luck when you learn how to work with them. So here are 2 things that you must know to create wealth, okay? So if you're looking to grow rich, you're looking to increase your financial capacity, your ability to, you know, generate income, first you have to know where you are, and then you have to know where you're going. I know that sounds a little bit simplistic, but you've got to own your current results, right? So you got to know where you currently are, and then you have to know where you're going. So Bob Proctor always says, if you can tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. I'm the same way. If you tell me what you want, I can show you how to get it. But most people don't even know what they want. Therefore, that means they don't know where they're going because they don't know where to go if you don't know what you want, right? And a lot of people maybe even don't take ownership of their current results. They either brush them under the rug, they pretend like they don't exist. Guys, if you're struggling, it's okay. You could admit that you're struggling and then you can move yourself forward. If you keep pretending like you're not struggling, well, then you'll never get the help that you need to move yourself forward. And essentially, like it mentioned earlier, that's really our job as a coach, is to help you do what you probably already know to do, but help you do it on a consistent basis so that you can start getting better results. So, I'm really no different than you, other than maybe I've had a few more years of studying this, because I remember when I first connected with this stuff, I knew where I was, but I didn't really know where I was going, other than the fact that I didn't like where I was. And that's where Bob got really focused with me to figure out, what is it that I wanted to do? What was my major definite purpose? What was my vision? What was my goal? These are all the things that we teach you to do inside of the Grow Rich Network members area. And we help you kind of define some of these components to your life, because your life is really just a bunch of days, and you got to know where you are and you got to know where you're going. So, if I want to get somewhere in my car, I just don't drive aimlessly across the town unless I'm just going for a drive. But if I know I got to go somewhere, then I go a certain direction and I get there, right? It's the same with business, guys. You got to have a goal. And when it comes to an income, like when it comes to wealth or growing rich, it better be an income goal. It needs to be something that allows you to essentially get fixated on a certain number. So, do you have an income goal that you're striving for the next 30, 60, and 90 days? If you don't, you'll never get there, guys, because you don't have it written down. You got to get focused in on it, and you've got to make it a daily focus. So like, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning X number of dollars a month on or before, set the date. And some of you guys and gals I've known for years, and for whatever reason, you just refuse to do that exercise, and you wonder why you haven't hit there yet. You've got to get clear. It's like when you order a pizza. You don't just say, send me a pizza. Well, some people might usually say, I want a pizza with pepperoni, bacon, mushrooms, green peppers, whatever. You get clear on what you want, and then you make your order. Sometimes you sit on the phone while you're talking to the person, and then you get clear. But the point is that you get clear and you ask for what you want. Well, then why are you not treating your goals with the same kind of focus and attention that they deserve? You got to get clear. How much, by when, and through what? Those are really, again, pulling right from Think and Grow Rich, okay? So why are so many people stuck? Why are so many people stuck with this whole concept of not only goal setting, but goal achieving? What's going on? If you want to know what's going on, guys, we kind of alluded to it earlier. Again, most people don't even know where they are. And where you are is often influenced by your existing paradigm. So either they just pretend like it doesn't exist. Guys, in addiction counseling, they say the number one, the number one factor or issue is just denial, right? They don't even think that there's a problem. Guys, I knew I had a problem when it didn't matter how much more money I made. I kept getting in more and more debt. Obviously, I had an issue, and that needed to be addressed. So I had to address it head on. And then I had to set some big goals that were scary, because I'd never accomplished those in my life. And I didn't exactly know how, but I had a direction, at least to how much money. And when I started to get focused, like first I just wanted to have a 6-figure income. Well, one of those things that led me to the direction is when I set that goal, kind of on my own terms, just even without really truly thinking about it too much, I saw an advertisement to earn 6 figures through coaching this type of material. And that brought me in the direction of getting closer to my goal of earning 6 figures, because at least I knew where I wanted to be. So even if it's rudimentary at the beginning, you have to have some direction, right? Again, I believe that this is really what I do. Education does not mean teaching people what they do not know. It means teaching them to behave as they do not behave. I have the same amount of time as you. I have the same amount of time as Bob Proctor. You have the same time as me. I have the same amount of time as Dan. Everybody has the same amount of time. So when people say, I don't have time, no, you're doing something else with your time that's not producing you the result that you say that you want, okay? If you look at, getting a result, there's really two things, guys: time and money, right? So we all have the same amount of time, and usually when you want to, go get a different result, you probably have to go invest in some education, right? So both of those things is going to take your time to go through them, like you did tonight. You started investing your time tonight with us to get a new result. Well, I applaud you for that, because there's lots of people not doing this type of work tonight. And there's a lot of people that, have no problem spending $9.97 a month on Netflix, for example, but have a big problem investing $9.97 a month on moving their life in the business in the direction that they want to go, which is just crazy. But people do a lot of crazy things. And again, remember, it's getting people to behave in the way that they're not behaving if they truly want to get a new result. So I applaud you for being here, because really those two things, time and money, you're making that investment here tonight. And certainly if you want to return on your time and you want to get some new results, again, I can't guarantee you any specific monetary result. That's illegal. I wouldn't do that. But I can assure you that if you put this information into action, you will improve the quality of your life if you take action. Most people don't take action, though, which is why most people don't get any results. So see our income disclaimers below. However, when you get into this material and you start realizing that your existing paradigm shapes everything, your logic. So for example, I thought to earn twice the amount of income, I had to work 2 jobs, because that seemed logical, right? To earn twice the amount of income, I had to go get another minimum wage paying job. That's logical, right? Well, or you think it's logical, but if to think illogical, Bob told me to stop working. I'm like, what? Stop working and start sharing this information with other people. And he said, start sharing it with people for free. And then on the back end, have other coaching, programs and materials that you can lead people through. And then you're going to no longer be working. You're just going to be sharing your passion for this information with other people, and you'll actually start earning more money. That was completely illogical to me, but I really said to myself, the guy's a multimillionaire. I'm in debt, so let me just listen to what he has to say. Your perception, guys, your perception creates your reality, right? So when you perceive something to be hard, it's going to be hard. When you perceive it to be easy, I remember a quote from, I think it was an affirmation, from Tony Robbins was the first place that I ever heard it. And I'm sure somebody else probably thought it up, or maybe it was Tony, but it was basically, in every day, in every way, this is getting easier and easier, or in every day, in every way, my life is getting better and better. It's a small statement, but that will shift your perception. In every day, in every way, this is getting easier and easier. So, if you're just getting started, guys, with affiliate marketing, and you're here because you want to learn how to make money online, for example, which most of you do, below the video as well, there's, I think, 3 buttons. One of the buttons is to learn about an affiliate program. It'll show you a little bit more about our affiliate program. It'll show you how to use the affiliate system. And again, some people will be like, oh my God, that's super hard and complicated because I have to learn a little bit of, how to get a link or something like that. If you come at it from that approach, it'll be really hard for you, because that's what you're stating it to be. If you say this is getting easier and easier every day, well, then that's what your reality will become. Guys, they don't only shape your perception and your logic, they control what you're doing with your time. Most people are trading their time for $1, and then they're wondering why they're not growing rich. Guys, you got to start leveraging your time through the efforts of an organization if you ever want to generate income when you're not physically present. If not, you will always be a slave to time. You have to control time by learning how to leverage it. And when you leverage your time, like right now in my downline, in Grow Rich Network, I have somewhere around, 250 odd people that are also sharing this information with other people. So that's allowing me to leverage time, right? And then because it's an affiliate program, when they generate sales, they're generating an income. And as an organization, we're generating a sale when we're not physically present through this concept of leverage. Well, I didn't even know that stuff existed 10 years ago. So if you didn't know that it existed, or you didn't realize, in our business, we have a 12-tier affiliate program, which means you can leverage your time through the efforts of your organization to the tune of 12 different levels, which is phenomenal. And Bob Proctor introduced me to the concept of earning 1% from 100 people, therefore creating 100% of my income, but me not being 100% responsible for it. I was responsible for creating the opportunity. I'm responsible for working the opportunity, but he said it's much better to earn 1% from 100 people. So therefore, you're not tied to, you needing to be physically present to make a sale. And when it starts happening and you start realizing that as your team starts making sales, whether it's from India or Australia while you're sleeping, you realize the power of these concepts. But I didn't even realize they existed, because my existing paradigm was to make more money, I had to go get another job, right? Which also meant that I wasn't very effective. In fact, I actually fell asleep at my work, passed out, and I almost killed myself on the way home because I was so exhausted after working 12-hour shifts between 2 jobs for about 3 months, and I literally almost killed myself. So I wasn't very productive, I wasn't very effective, and I certainly was, my time was being controlled by this perception of mine that I had to work 2 jobs to earn twice as much money. And then Bob Proctor tells me an illogical concept, and he says the worst way to make money is to work for it. And I thought that guy is either crazy or he knows something. So let's go listen to him a little bit more. So obviously your ability to earn money is being shaped by your paradigms. So the big question is can I change my paradigm? And absolutely, yes, you can. You're going to need, obviously, some hope. You have to have some hope that it's possible. Obviously, if you're just getting started, you're going to have to learn something. With hope, guys, you have options, okay? And when you realize that you have options, you can do this through numerous ways. And Dan talks about this in the members area when we teach you, making money online, like what that concept is. Obviously, if you're looking to do it from home, then you're probably looking at either, some affiliate product or service that you're going to market, or you're going to look at creating your own products and services and setting up your own business, or you might join an existing, business opportunity so that you can create leverage in your efforts and not just be responsible for, the sales that you yourself are making. You can have a team that can help you. And really that's what I enjoy the most, is I like a combination of like affiliate marketing and like with the team building aspect, because certainly I like to make my own sales, but it's certainly really cool when you see your team starting to make sales and you start generating income when you're not even physically present. That's when you create that passive income. So you're going to look for probably a different option than what you're doing now. Like at that point, I was, when I first started, I was in retail. Then I wanted an office job. And then when I got into an office job, I realized that I wanted to go lead, inspire, and empower people through public speaking. And that led me to coaching, and that led me to building my business online, and then learning about this wacky world of affiliate marketing and network marketing. And, I didn't even know what those things were. So if you're just getting started, don't worry. I remember you. I remember what it feels like. Here it says, first we will explain how paradigms are formed, then we will explain how they're changed. So guys, if you've been through any of the trainings with me before, you'll realize that we refer to this magical graphic. The reason we do it, I'll introduce it to you here in a second, is because we all think in pictures. So if I was to say, what does your home look like? What does your car look like? Or even just these pictures here that are on the page. There's a boat, there's a gear, there's a bird. Teaching my son and daughter how to, speak, how to read. I remember when I first started, just flashing images at her, like images, basically 9 months old. We had all these flash books, and she could read, essentially read. I don't know if she was actually reading, but she would see the image and then she would have the association with it, right? So she has an association with an image. And at 9 months old, she's like going through all these books with all these animals, and people are looking at me like she's some sort of genius. And I'm like, I think she is a genius. So maybe I'm just a proud papa. But when I look at that whole concept, I really, truly believe this fact that we think in images, and we associate images with words, and words are associated with other images, and so on and so forth. So when it comes to your mind, what does your mind look like? So this whole concept was brought about by Dr. Thurman Fleet, the founder of concept therapy. And without a picture of your mind, you have confusion because you don't have an association with it. So he created this little picture. It's essentially this magical graphic to create order out of this confusion for people. Because if we're talking about, positive thinking or working with your mind or paradigms, without this picture of your mind, how do you go about creating associations and working with it? So he created this magical graphic to create this order. Okay, so when we look at it, essentially this guy was involved in the healing arts. He wanted to heal the whole person. He said the mind is an activity and not a thing. Nobody's ever seen the mind. However, we must have an image or there is no order in the mind, and he'll create the image and therefore eliminate confusion. It's such a simple picture. People laugh. But psychologists that have been studying this with Bob tell that they've learned more from this little magical graphic than they did in all of their schooling and training alone, just because of the sheer brilliance of how this is all put together. So basically, you take your mind, you split it into two parts, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, and then down at the bottom, obviously, you've got your body. And if you've watched this before, guys, number one skill of learning essentially is repetition. So you've got your thinking mind, which is the educated mind, and you've got that intellect. That's where people say, I'm an intellect or I'm educated, or, they're thinking about something. That's all in the conscious mind. The subconscious mind, the emotional mind, is usually a lot more powerful because that's where your paradigm is. And through your conscious mind, by thinking and choosing new thoughts, you can actually influence your subconscious mind. The difference between these two things, guys, is your conscious mind can accept or reject, and it can choose its thoughts, and it can originate ideas. Here's where it hit me. This is one of the most impactful things that I realized after the last 10 years of going through this information is what we state here next. Guys, the subconscious mind, remember, your conscious mind can choose. Your subconscious mind can't. It just must accept. It cannot reject, and it can't determine the difference between what's real or what's imagined. When I figured this out in my own mind, what the power of this statement meant is when it transformed for me. Actually, when I go back and I review the work that I did personally in my business from like 2005 to essentially 2009, I almost don't remember doing the work when I look at it. It was like I self-hypnotized myself just to move into action. And essentially, that's what you're doing. If you can impress this idea into your subconscious mind, it must accept it, it can't reject it, and it doesn't know the difference. So all you got to do, for example, is I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning 6 figures a year or 6 figures a month or 10,000 a week or whatever it is that you want to earn, and then implant it into your subconscious mind. And then what's going to happen is if you keep implanting it, which we'll show you here in a minute, eventually it's just going to accept it. It just accepts it because you've now broken through like the old paradigm, the old conditioning. It accepts it. It doesn't know what's real or what's not real, and then it just moves your body into action to produce the result. This is why hypnotism works, flap your wings like a chicken or bark like a dog. Why would people do that on stage in front of other people? Because the subconscious mind can't reject it. It just accepts it. So when it does, it just moves your body into action. It doesn't know that you're not a chicken. It doesn't know that you're not a dog. It believes that you are, and it moves your body into action. So when you really realize this, you're going to see that when you were little, like this is why I pay close attention to this with my kids, because I don't know if maybe, around my household, it was even aware that this was possible. But I grew up in a household where everything was expensive, and I grew up with that a lot. I thought that everything was expensive. I didn't understand that, everybody has the ability to have whatever they want because the universe is abundant and things aren't expensive. They just are that price. It just is. And that's one of the things that Bob had to work with me. He said, nothing's expensive, Andrew. Everything just is. If you want it, figure out a way to go get it. Don't say that it's expensive, because if you do, then you're going to feel like you're not worthy of getting it, which is going to set up the wrong vibration, and then you'll never actually attract it to you because you don't feel that you're worthy of it because you don't believe that you can afford it. But I didn't realize that all this stuff kind of came to me as a kid, and it was basically just being put into my mind when I was little because of the environment that I lived in. So these ideas, thoughts, and images from, parents, other people, good-willed people, I'm sure they didn't mean to make me feel like I couldn't afford things and everything was expensive, but that's just what the ideas and images that were being put into my subconscious mind over and over and over and over and over again, for, basically my whole life until I left home. I grew up in that environment where, everything was expensive. So I just kind of had all these concepts that were being pumped into my own brain from other people that weren't really my own ideas. And then as I'm wandering around as an adult in my 20s, I'm trying to figure things out. And I'm wondering why I have all of these, basically like programs running in my mind. And I didn't even know this whole word of paradigm. So what is a paradigm, guys? What are paradigms? Paradigms are a multitude of habits. And when you looked at that previous picture, you are probably running around with other people's habits running and controlling your life. And when you realize that, it's kind of scary. You may not be responsible for the environment that you grew up in, but you are responsible for changing your paradigm if you want to get different results in your life, guys. So, this stuff is passed on from generation to generation. And as a new father, I'm doing everything in my ability to, give my kids the best shot at life, just like I'm sure my parents did the same to me, however, just with more awareness. Remember that little dot? For example, my kids will never go work 2 jobs to earn twice as much money. I'm teaching my kids now the skills of entrepreneurship, of providing service, generating income, affirmations, and all of this stuff at, basically since they've been born. And at 3 and 4, I can see the difference in them than I probably had in my life. And really, I think that that's my job, is to, help mold the next generation. So when you look at it, you probably had all of these ideas put into your brain from somewhere else that are, conditioning you to believe that you're worth a certain amount of income, or that you can only produce a certain amount of income, or, he can do it because of that reason, or she can do it because of that reason. And really, you're just, giving yourself excuses often that are, based on this existing belief system that you have. And when you realize the fact that you've got this power coming to you every day, all day, and you can direct it at anything that you choose, why would you choose to direct it at the things that say, like, why you can't do something, or this is going to be hard? Why are you setting up those expectations for yourself? Because there's an old program running. I used to always say that I couldn't do things because I wasn't old enough. And then I got to a point where I couldn't do things because I didn't have a formal education, or I couldn't do things because, I was overweight, or, whatever the case may be, guys. We give ourselves excuses, and at any point you can choose to direct this thought energy to anything that you want. But when you realize the power of the paradigm is what's controlling the ideas, and the existing, conditioning is what's really holding you back. If you were to tell me, a couple of days ago that I was going to have a $27,000 day, I would have believed you. But if you had have said, that 10 years ago, I probably would have said, that's impossible. How do you do that? Because I'm struggling to make ends meet working 2 jobs. So how is it even possible that I can do that? I can't do that. You can do that, but I can't do that. Those types of thoughts and ideas, you may be running around in your head right now. Guys, in your conscious mind, you can create the image, right? And then you can impress the image into your subconscious mind. And when you do that, that's what sets up that feeling, or that vibration. That's really what this whole law of attraction is all about, guys, because it's that vibration that's when you are impressing this image into your subconscious mind. That's what's dictating your vibration. That's what's dictating whether or not what you're attracting into your life is going to be in harmony with you, and whether or not you're going to see it manifest. So for example, if you want to earn 10 grand a month, then trust me, grab a piece of paper, write on it. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning 10 grand a month in my internet business on or before, set a date to it that's realistic to you. But again, remember, what's realistic to you is probably going to be influenced by your existing paradigm. But even if you said, within 3 months or within 6 months, you're going to have a $10,000 a month income, that is completely possible for you if you see yourself earning that money, you impress it into your subconscious mind through the affirmation on a daily basis, and then you start taking action, and people will notice and feel that you're on a different vibration, because somebody that's earning $10,000 a month is on a much different vibration than somebody that's earning, $10 an hour, for example, and trading their life for $1. It's all up to you and how you want to work with your life. So what are you attracting into your life? Guys, if you're not happy with the amount of income, you got to look at what vibration you are on, okay? Your results are going to answer that question for you. I know that there's certain things in my life that I'm working on right now, a lot of them having to do with my physical weight that I, kind of made an excuse for myself when my kids were born. I talked about the baby weight, and then I just built up this story for myself, and I allowed myself to be, 60 pounds overweight. And then I would tell other people that story. It would create the image. And then, that was what I was manifesting into my life. Well, now I see myself as a lean, mean fighting machine. I practice Tai Chi. I got a lot more involved in walking and taking my kids out and doing things. And those are all just, conscious decisions to make a change. So whether or not it's in results to your health, your happiness, or your wealth that we talked about at the beginning, that's really kind of like a lot of the key components of your life, right? If you're happy, healthy, and wealthy, then you can, do a lot of things. If you don't have your health, then it doesn't matter how much money you have, right? If you're not happy, there's something wrong with that equation as well. And if you've ever battled, bouts of depression, I had a partner that committed suicide. I had a mom that's been murdered. Guys, I've been in the crapper, and I know what it's like to get out when you just essentially have to start focusing on what you want. So as a life success consultant, I focus on what do you want, and then I focus on helping you change your paradigm so that you can get what you want in your life. So guys, if you want to learn this masterminding concept through this book, Think and Grow Rich, again, join us in a few minutes. We're going to be hopping over to the members area. And if you are a member, up in the menu bar up above, you can click down and you'll see in the training section, you'll see the Think and Grow Rich page, and you will be able to get to that page. If you're not a paid member, you will see, quote unquote, the sales page that will give you some concepts that we're talking about. And if any of this kind of stuff is speaking to you on any level, then, invest a couple of dollars to get started and join us on that next training event here in a few minutes. I'm going to just cover this off real quickly again, your conscious mind, your intellect, your subconscious mind, that's where the paradigm is. Your body, that's where you feel the vibration. We talk about the law of attraction. It's responding to your paradigm, guys. So if you want to get more things, you want to have more in your life, you need to influence your paradigm and make a change. So one last quick run through this. Conscious, subconscious, you can see, you can hear, you can smell, you can taste, you can touch. All of these are connected to your conscious mind through your sensory factors. And again, this is like all the information that's being bombarded into your conscious mind at any given time through these sensory factors. When we look at that, we're really talking about, again, the intellectual mind. There's a lot of intellects out there that are broke because they don't know how to generate money. And when it comes to generating income, again, there's really only 3 ways to make it. One, trade your time for $1. It's the worst way to make money. That's what I was doing for most of my commercial career until about 10 years ago. And that's when my income went from, 65 grand a year to over hundreds of thousands of dollars because of millions of sales, because I learned the power of the second way to make money, which was, well, actually the third way. M2 is investing your money to make money. And certainly through real estate investments and things like that, that certainly influenced and impacted my ability to earn income. However, the M3 income strategy that Bob taught was leveraging your time through the efforts of an organization. And that's what really caught my mind and really grasped onto the idea of making money when you sleep, making money across the globe, whereas before it used to be an office and I only made money when I went to work and traded my time. If I wanted to make twice as much, I had to get another job. Guys, that's just a paradigm, right? So when you switch your paradigm Bob taught me to work through my higher factors, which was my perception, my will, my ability to focus, my ability to imagine things, my memory. I used to always say that I had a bad memory or I didn't remember. You know, memory is perfect. You have a perfect memory. Just give it a chance. Like any other muscle, you can strengthen it. Your intuition and your reason. So my gut feeling and my ability to reason with information. You know, just because the paper says that it's a bad economy, you know, before I might have accepted that as my reality and then been like, ho, ho, glum, glum. You know, now I look at it as an opportunity to provide service for other people, because obviously if they're having a difficulty in learning how to generate income, if I can show them how to shift the direction of their paradigm, I can help them turn around their business or turn around their life when everybody else might be complaining that there is no opportunity. I see it as a huge opportunity to share this information with other people. So it's all how you look at things, guys. And remember, the emotional mind, right? Especially with money, everybody gets emotionally charged about money. You know, it's a big factor in a lot of people's lives. And that's why it's one that we can measure. And that's why when it comes to a goal for business, the whole point of being in business is to produce profit. So when we talk about getting emotionally involved with earning a certain amount of income, what we're really doing is we're increasing our vibration so that we can be on the level of the producer that's going to attract that type of income in your life. Guys, to earn $10,000 a month, you're going to be doing things differently than you were when you're earning $10 an hour as an employee. Absolutely. And that means you have to look at things differently. You have to work with different faculties that we all have. But most people are just working through the rudimentary sensory factors instead of the higher perception, will, imagination, memory, intuition, and reason factors. And again, Joel Barker says to be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm. So are you willing and are you able? Are you able? The answer is yes. Are you willing is up to you. So if you're willing, you know, I would encourage you to take action tonight, get started with us at the next event. And this kind of gives you the concept of what we're talking about here with this whole concept. Again, Bob Proctor Learning Systems model really is the masterminding model that we're employing here through the Think and Grow Rich Mastermind, as well as the weekly training. Essentially, you know, the organized education model, you know, you look at gathering information from books, you hear from a teacher, you read some books, you watch some videos, and then you say you know the information. And usually to test you, they just, multiple choice tests, and you can regurgitate it and they say that you know. Well, if people actually knew what they say they know, they would never do half the stuff that they do or say half the stuff that they say if they actually knew. Because most people don't know after they've gathered the information, even though they can regurgitate it. When you work from the higher faculties, instead of hearing, you're going to listen, right? You're going to listen with your gut. You're going to listen with your intuition, right? You're going to listen from that whole emotional side of your body, and you're going to start learning rather than just gathering. And when you learn by implementation. You put it into action. And one of the greatest ways of learning is to teach somebody else. So guys, I probably needed to learn this information more than you, because part of my path was to learn and to teach this information to other people, because I really had a difficult time with this. So if you've had a difficult time, don't worry, but I want you to realize, again, in that conscious mind, and then the emotional mind, and then you want to act on the information and actually do something with it, right? There's a lot of people that have, diplomas on their wall and they feel like they know something, but then if you actually listen to them talk specifically about money and how to earn it, most people have no clue. They just know what they know, which was usually to go to school, get a good job, and stick it out for the next 40 years. Guys, it's ridiculous. I truly believe that working is the worst way to earn money. And I wouldn't have told you that 10 years ago, but after going through this experience, listening, learning, and doing, I can assure you, it is the worst way to earn money. The best way to earn money is to leverage your time through the efforts of an organization. So again, repetition, first law of learning. Keep going through this information if you need to. Go back and watch it. And I hope that you were able to see all of this stuff. If not, you've been sitting on a page with Bob Proctor and Think and Grow Rich for the whole time. I apologize if that was the case. I'll re-record this and post this to the members area. Let's just look at this one last time. You got this power. You can, again, you can choose any image that you want with this power. You can build any picture that you want, and you can impress that picture into your subconscious mind. And when you do that through repetition, you're going to actually see that result in your physical environment, because your body is going to move into new actions to produce the result. Just like the hypnotist that impresses the image that you're a dog and then presses it into your subconscious mind, and then your body starts barking like a dog, and the result is that everybody's entertained by this human being that's barking like a dog. You can impress a six-figure income into your subconscious mind, and you can literally self-hypnotize yourself to go out and take action on the material that you're learning by doing something with it now. And again, if you want to do something with this information now, then I would encourage you to go look at our affiliate program so that you can learn how you can earn money by sharing this information, by truly learning and earning, by applying these concepts to your own life and then sharing it with somebody else. Because again, that's kind of like teaching somebody else. And when you teach somebody else, you're actually going to learn more yourself. So the images fixed in your subconscious mind control your vibration. Your vibration controls what you attract. And obviously your results are, you know, if they're not what you image, then you are not imaging the right stuff. That's why you've got to imagine what it feels like and see yourself earning $10,000 a month before you're actually physically earning it. And you need to see that in your mind's eye and get excited about it with emotion, and then impress it into your subconscious mind through that power of affirmation. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am earning $10,000 a month in my internet business on or before October 24th, 2015. I just picked that date because it's my birthday. I started the Bob Proctor training program. The day after my birthday is my birthday present to myself 10 years ago. And that date is coming up. Remember, the virus, guys, is in the existing paradigm. It's got to be eliminated before your new images can move into form. So we just keep repeating the information because, you know, if you've watched this, you may have jumped off onto a thought idea and you may have missed the concept that we talked about. So if an idea came to your own mind, you might have been off on a thought frequency thinking about the information that came to your mind and not listening to the material. So I would encourage you to come back, watch it again if you need to, and keep going through this, because essentially that's what's happening. Guys, remember, when your paradigms were being installed, it didn't happen in one day. You know, I grew up in that particular household for 18 years. So for 18 years, I had these thoughts, images, and ideas coming at me from other people that were being impressed upon my subconscious mind, that were influencing the way that I was going to interact with my outside world. And it really came apparent to me in my mid-20s that some of my paradigms were not serving me, but I didn't even realize that fact until I became aware of this information. So I hope that you become more aware of this information tonight. I hope you become more aware of all of these concepts, of how this is all working together, that you have the power. You can impress whatever thought you want into your subconscious mind. You can get emotionally involved with it. The emotion is what's going to help you eliminate the old conditioning and implant the new. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am. Those are very powerful emotions, and that's what's going to get you the new result. So with that being said, I'm going to pop back over and I'm going to close this down. And I'm here. I don't know if you guys were on that or not. You might not have been. And if that was the case, I apologize. So I will go get all that information for you if that was the case, or you just heard me talk about it for a while. I am going to hop back over into the next event, which we're starting right now. So I appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to join the Think and Grow Rich Mastermind, go down, take action. Or you can go up above, click on the Think and Grow Rich link in the training menu, and you'll be brought over to the next event. I'm going to go start that now. I appreciate each and every one of you. This is Andrew Cox signing off. Bye for now, and I'll speak.